Hello everyone, and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So we're in the final week of Clashfronts. I know it is maybe late for this video. However, from all the testing which I've observed in Clashfronts as well as more dual battle testing, I've come up with what are my top 5 teams right now that I'm very happy about, and also some changes to the free-to-play lineups as well. Free-to-play or budget teams. So I'm going to just show you guys what I've come up with for the budget teams as well as for the pay-to-win teams. Maybe you can take some of these and they could be an improvement for you. And actually, just to show it more clearly, I'm going to just show it to you in the formation page over here so you can see everything a bit more clearly laid out. So here we have the free-to-play team 1 that I've come up with using Tossie. Now, Tossie's a hero, which I think actually does well in the Graveborn Phantomal. It is a little bit late that I'm figuring this out, but basically, because she can stall out and then also usually get enough energy and then finish off enemies with her ultimate, it's a pretty effective strategy. So what we have here is we have the Bulwark spell to give more shielding to Tossie, who's frontmost. We have Thorin and Damon protecting your Graveborn Phantomal, who's going to be your major damage. We have Volca giving attack speed buff to all these 4 adjacent allies and then giving herself a big shield. And basically, it's as simple as that. And Graveborn Phantomal on Shadewing. Shadewing can work even at lower copies. He's just here to be a debuffer for the Graveborn Phantomal damage. And that is it. Now, as for the charms that I currently have equipped, I do have Arcane onto Shadewing, Barrow onto Thorin would probably be better, Blast onto Tossie definitely, Mystic Daemon just for Dream Realm, and Volca have her on the Gale charms. You could also do Arcane for PvP, but yeah. Okay, so team 2 is, we have this one. It's going to be a Siren team and Graveborn Phantomal marking the Siren. This is a very strong strategy because like 3 seconds in the match, Siren's going to do AoE debuffs on the enemies, and then your Graveborn Phantomal is going to hit hard. We have Nero giving a life and also damage boost to your Graveborn Phantomal. We have Ludovic to be healing everyone grouped up. Citrana to be putting her sparks, and Bonnie for the debuff. So we are going to try to spread the Bonnie and Citrana debuffs pretty rapidly with Nero. We have the Earthshell spell for more protection. And then, yeah, Siren debuff and then into the Graveborn Phantomal damage is also going to be a win condition. Now, as for the charms, it'll be better to have destructive charms on Siren. That's probably recommended. Nero, I have Eagle charms for PvP. I have these Sturdy charms for Citrana for PvP. And Bonnie's Sorcery charms for PvP. And Ludovic, I just have these for Dream Realm. But Healer charms might be better for PvP. And then Team 3. Now, this one is a big change. I did testing and I found out that my Pandora Frieren combo, it's just not fast enough. So this is actually crazy that Theodore Frieren is faster than your Pandora Frieren. And the reason why this is so important is the player who gets the first Frieren ultimate wins and wipes out the enemy team. And because Pandora is a bit too long of a delay to wait, we're gonna have Theodore for the energy boosting on Frieren. We have just all other solid Wilder heroes. We have Celeste for the healing attack buff. We have Lily May, who is going to interrupt enemies and also benefit from the Ravion buff. And Ravion is going to be buffing your Frieren and Lily May. And then you have your Blue Mother Phantomal buffing up Frieren. This with Star Shower spell, this is really strong. Frieren's gonna get an ultimate off like 3 to 4 seconds into the match and blow up the enemy team. So this is probably the way you want to run Frieren, and just, you know, like we saw, we can run Siren without having Theodore in the team and still making good use of the Graveborn Phantomal. Now, as for the charms, I have Titanic onto Lily May, Arcane onto Ravion. I do have Acute onto Frieren. Sorcery are probably better for PvP specifically. Arcane onto Celeste and Insight charms onto Theodore. Good team. Now, team 4, we're going to have a Sylvan comp, but different from before. We're still going to have Callan for that protection for basically most of your team, but we are also going to have Hugin and Fairmore. They're both providing temporary stat buffs to Sylvan, so Sylvan is going to ult as soon like 1 second in the match and be blowing up the enemy team. That's the whole game plan, with the Sigmund further buffing him up, and Zany just for some, like, you know, annoying factor, distracting factor with her towers. Other than that, she's not really going to be doing much for the team. And Resonating Spell is seems like for Sylvan comps to actually better to boost his damage output after he casts his ultimate. That is a whole game plan, and it should be a solid team. You don't even have to run Callan in this team. You can replace for something else, but I would opt for some sort of tanky frontline hero because you have the damage with Sylvan, right? Okay, now finally, this team is probably one of the weirder teams, but like, there's just not enough good leftover options to come up with a good, like, solid team. Actually, now though, you could go for like a Pandora Galahad team if you wanted to do something like that, but it has issues because I just feel like Pandora teams are maybe just too slow currently. But anyway, so this is gonna be a Celestial Hypogean team. Twins and Aurora, basically everyone has. You can substitute Bailran for like, if you have Contest and just go for a full stall team here, it will still be effective. Contest will be good. Bailran is good here, but if you're using Bailran specifically, you know, Rowan energy or heal potioning the Bailran to ascend him faster, and Damien just for more stall factor and healing. So that's what we have for the final team. Honestly, this final team, this is the one which is the most changeable, and like if I just wanted to come up with another option, like we were just saying, you know, Pandora is still technically free. You could go for a Pandora team with, for example, the Mana Wake spell. Pandora is free. You can go Pandora, and then Galahad is a good ultimate-based nuker. Or Shamira, you know, if you want to go for Shamira, you can go for that. But basically, I'm just a little bit turned off of Pandora as a hero option due to the fact that she's a bit too slow in the meta. But like, if the enemy isn't running a energy boosting Frieren comp, then you can still get value. Like, you can still go for a team like this, you know. Just a wilder team, and you know, maybe have Valara here just for some protection. Basically a team comp like this is still fine and it's still strong, but it just has issues because it's a bit too slow. Pandora and Shamir as well is a slower hero, but yeah, you could go for a team like this. There are leftover options for it. You can even replace Valar with whatever other wilder hero you want. Okay guys, so now we have the pay to win teams, and so for pay to win team, again, I'm going to show you from this layout so it's easier for you to see. Pay to win team I'm very happy with these teams overall. Number one, we're gonna have an Ulna Gunner team, which I think does really well with Frieren, and we're gonna have Contest as well. Contest is like, this is actually kind of the Exodia for PvP right now, Gunner, Ulna, Contest, because Contest has so much value by silencing enemies and also just keeping your team alive, and Gunner with that protection onto Contest is basically invincible. Frieren is gonna provide a defensive magic on a Gunner who's frontline target. Guns also get massive shielding with the Bulwark spell and being frontmost. And so, like, what's going to happen here is Gunner's going to be almost unkillable. Frieren is unkillable due to Ulna. We have the Himmel buffing up with the hero party here. We have Skycross Phantom further buffing up Frieren. And then we have Contest as well. And this is just going to be, this is the Exodia comp. This is my strongest PvP team. And I'm just overall, I think it's great. I think this is one of the best teams currently for like a Clashfronts, like not using 5 Celestial Hypogeans, right? So like for Clashfronts, you can only use up to 3 because you need to spare for other teams. This is a very, very solid team. And for the PvP charms, I haven't really optimized that. I'm just running Blast on a Gunner, Arcane on a Contest. Basically, the Dream Realm charms, but Sorcery Frieren would probably be better. And Insight All Night, definitely, that's the way to go. Okay, team 2 is going to be the Zoria stall team, and I've changed around the positioning a bit. Athalia up front to take the aggro, and we're just going to go for maximum buffing and protection onto the Greyborn Phantom. I've opted for forgetting about protecting the Pandora, just go all out into buffing and protecting the Greyborn Phantom. Hopefully, into most enemy team comps, Pandora should survive long enough for Zoria to come out of the box, for, basically 4 seconds into the match. But like those really rapidly ramp up Frieren comps, they are going to take you out before Pandora can even fully generate that, but it doesn't matter as much. You're not as reliant on actually getting that 1000 energy to Zoria. Obviously, it's going to increase her damage, but her stall factor is going to be almost the same, even if Pandora goes down early. Greyborn Phantom, obviously, on the Shade Ring. This is great value. Now, as for the charms, I just go for tanky charms on Zoria because she's a staller. You could go for a more offensive option if you wanted to. Mystic on Damon. I'm going Arcane on Shade Ring. Blast on Pandora Sorcery. Well, I don't know. It honestly doesn't make much of a difference. And Athalia is with the Overlord charms. We're going for the Light Heal spell. Now, team 3, I'm happy with this team. Definitely another Greyborn team with Bonnie is strong. But, like, I was trying to force it a bit too hard, like running Nero in the comp, other things. So what I've actually decided on is, like, kind of a happy medium. We have the debuffs from Bonnie. They will take a little bit of time to spread on the enemy team. That is true. However, they are going to spread, and the Greyborn Phantom is still going to get off his value. And Dunlinger, this is a really good home for Dunlinger, because one of the key ways maybe the enemy will try to break up your team early is they will try to nuke you with a Frieren, with a Cryonia. Dunlinger is going to say no. You guys are going to have to wait a bit to actually take me out. And in that whole waiting period, we're going to be able to spread our debuffs. So Citrana debuffs, Bonnie debuffs. We have a lot of protection with the Kalin and Ludovic. And hopefully your Greyborn Phantom can just live and keep getting off his damage. And we have Urshel spell for more protection. So I'm happy with this team. This was one of the best lineups I could come up with for like this pay to win level of a Bonnie Sichuan damage over time team. We have basically the standard charms. Like obviously healer would be better on Ludwig for PvP. I have cheetah charms like Hallan. I don't know. I think they're pretty good. And then Dunlinger with the resolute charms. Okay, now team 4. This is a team very similar to a team from Fight Club. Basically, well, actually, they're not called Fight Club anymore, but Yapala, basically, Milan and Shadi, who come up with the team comps. So I did testing of this team, and is again really late into me changing over to this team. But this team is really solid because you have basically you can run Ravion is better in this team rather than Pheromore. But I'm already running Ravion in a different team, so I can't spare Ravion here. But if you have Ravion available, run Ravion rather than Pheromore. But Pheromore still does the job, provide a temporary buff to your Sylvan. Hugin providing temporary buff for Sylvan, so 1 second in the match, Sylvan's going to be casting ultimate. Now, of course, if the enemy has Dunlinger, if they have Lily May, they are going to counter this team. But if they don't have that, this team is very strong. It even can go head-to-head with like Theodore, pumping up energy of Frieren comps. Because what happens is, even if they get an early ultimate off and try to nuke your team, you are going to burst them. And then the Alicet buff on a Sylvan is going to give Sylvan another like 4 or 5 seconds, basically, to keep bursting. And that's exactly enough time that you need. You have Siren to block the enemy artifact, which is also strong. And so, yeah, this is a solid team. And also not that pay to win, so it is a good option. Now team 5 is going to be Perseus. So I've defaulted and opted back for Perseus, and you guys might be thinking, well, where are all your Celestial Hypogeans? Because honestly, I'm running 3 Celestial Hypogeans here, and then 1 in each of these teams, and then these other teams are just not running them. And it's because it just feels like those Celestial Hypogean teams, they can be very good in Supreme Arena, they can be very good in maybe even head-to-head 1v1 duels. Or regular arena. But the thing is, in Clashfronts, it's important to allow your team to win streak. And win streaks are basically, you want fast nuking teams, high damage output teams. The teams which are more stall oriented, they are going to lose more endurance over the match, and also the basically loss of endurance to them is going to heavily reduce the impact. Like the healing will be less, the shielding will be less, so the stall factor is way less. So that's why Perseus is going to be good. This is just a standard team I was been running for a long time in Supreme Arena at the beginning of the season, but I didn't run it much in Clashfronts. But I was going head to head with teams like this, and they were doing really well, even at lower Paragon compared to some of the teams I ran into it. And so like I was like, this is probably the way to go. You have all the temporary buffs for Perseus in the world. Star Shower Spell, Xandrock, Ravion, and Leica. So that's 4 temporary buffs for Perseus. Also, 4 temporary buffs for Lily May, who also benefits off of temporary buffs with her growth stacks. We have the Bloom Mother Phantom buffing up Perseus. And I opted for Sorcery Charms on Perseus to increase its ultimate damage. Because with the Leica energy boosting, the buff from the Bloom Mother, Perseus is probably going to get an ultimate off in the match, and that can just nuke out enemy teams. So that's why we went for that. We're going Titanic on Lily May, which is good for PvP, Arcane Ravion, a Mystic Leica, and then Insight on Zadrock. And that is it, guys. Those are the teams that basically I've come up with for pay to play, pay to win, the final week basically, and this is going to be the end of this season. So these are the best 5 teams I've basically been able to come up with for free to play, pay to win, or budget and pay to win, given the current heroes we have. Now, also with the idea in mind that win streaks are a priority, not going for full out stall teams because they are less effective. Now, if you wanted to use, for example, like this Perseus team, you didn't want to use Leica, you can use Celise. Celise is also free. I didn't manage to fit her into any team just because the teams were like not really fit, I went for more synergy in the teams rather than just a good overall solid hero. But Celise is a solid hero you can slot in for like even Leica in that team if needed. Slot in for Pheromore in this team, but then you're missing out on a temporary buff. The problem is I thought Celise gave a temporary buff, but she doesn't. She gives a permanent attack buff with her Life Bloom buds. And so, yeah, permanent, as you guys see. So that's why it doesn't synergize with Perseus and these temporary buff teams as much. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is helpful. If there are any other teams that are working for you, you can feel free to share them in the comment section. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Good luck on the final week of Clashfronts, and I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully. So thank you for watching, and if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus Dragon Crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.